Hello everybody, my name's Zahir and I want to welcome you all to my channel again. This is Plants and Paints, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to actually be doing a plant haul with you. So I've got about 60 plants here to go through to show you. I'm actually quite excited to show you all of this. This pretty much will explain to you the reason why I don't purchase a lot of plants for my personal collection anymore, because when I'm getting these deliveries in, I end up a bit stuck for space. So because I got this plant haul on Friday, I figured before I actually let any of them go, I'm gonna do a video and show everybody the kind of stock that I actually get hold of. So I hope you enjoy today's video. This is something a bit different, as I mentioned, and I do know that some of you have been waiting for the video where I actually talk about my green wall, but I was ill last week. I literally, towards the end of this week I've just gotten over being ill, and I will do my green wall in the near future. But today, as I mentioned, we're going to be doing a plant haul, and what I'm going to do, for those of you who are familiar with my Instagram account and those of you who have been receiving my plant list, what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to go through the plants in order of the plant list that I've been sending out to people who had interest in purchasing from me. So the first plant I'm going to show you is the Philodendron verrucosum. Now you're going to see me popping off to the side during the video because I've got plants to this side, plants to that side, because there's 60 plants. I didn't have space to put them all up in front of me, so I'm just going to go through and start picking them up one by one. So the first one is the Philodendron verrucosum. So I'm just going to show you a few different ones that I've got in stock. So this is one of them here. I do love this plant, lovely velvety leaves. Now I'm not going to spend any amount of time talking about any of the plants because I've got 60 plants to go through and I don't want to turn the video into an hour-long video. So we're just going to pretty much fly through them. So this is one of 3 of the verrucosums. It's actually got a new growth occurring here underneath as well. It's producing a new leaf, but they're very beautiful. They've got such a sheen to them, and you know, being that they're a velvet leaf plant, I do have a soft spot for these type of plants. And here is another one of my verrucosums. It's actually got a bit of a yellow leaf on, which I'm actually going to end up taking off, but it's got 2 healthy leaves on the front there. And it's got 2 new growths coming as well, so it's basically about to produce another 2 leaves as well. Another thing that I like about the verrucosum is it's got these fuzzy petioles on the back. I don't know if you can see them very clearly in the video, but like they look hairy along the stems of the leaves. Very interesting trait of the plant. I'm going to show you the last one now. The last one is my favorite of the 3. Seems to be in very good condition. Now generally I get my plants shipped from abroad, and sometimes they come quickly and sometimes they don't, but I tried a new supplier this time around, and I specified that my plants are shipped only via using DHL, because DHL seem to use the most express service of delivery, and I actually got them in 4 days. So I was quite surprised at how quick they actually turned up, which was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, this is the last of the 3 verrucosums, but a beautiful specimen. As you can see on the back of the leaves, they've got these red highlights as well, and this one is producing a new leaf at the moment too. Very beautiful plants. So that's the verrucosums there. So the next one on the list is the melanochrysum. Now the melanochrysum is one of my favorite plants, and I think I've got about 10 of them at the moment, but I actually ordered a very large one in for one of my regular people who buy plants off of me, and as you can see, this is absolutely huge. This particular melanochrysum here is staggering. It's a very beautiful plant. I mean, just as a head test, you can see that these leaves are absolutely humongous. In fact, this, as a specimen, this is the most beautiful specimen I've ever had, and somebody who I'm I've become very friendly with on Instagram is actually expecting this to be posted out in the next few days. I'm going to mention as I'm going through some of the plants that are actually sold, and this is actually a sold plant. I'm going to quickly flick through all the melanochrysums that I have just to show you. This is another fairly large one. This one is currently available. I haven't sold this one as of yet. I haven't actually posted my plants up for sale yet. All I've done is the people who have been waiting for plants to arrive, I've just let them know generally that there are plants available now, and they've made their purchases already. But this is another one of the melanochrysums, another beautiful specimen here. As you can see, those leaves are just stunning, and this particular one, the leaves are absolutely perfect on them. So yeah, beautiful melanochrysum. I'm just going to gradually quickly flick through them all now. So I've got melanochrysums in different sizes, small all the way up to XXL, I would suggest to call them. So this would be the small ones. And then I've got another one here, also producing new growth at the moment. You can see a new leaf coming out here. They actually call, another name they actually call these is black gold. I'm sure it's due to the fact that the leaves as they mature go very dark to black, very dark green to black in color, but when they are emerging they're almost golden in color, the leaves, just like what you can see here. So hence the nickname black gold. And these would be the small size ones that I'm showing you now. So I started with the XXL, and these at the moment are the small sizes. And then this is a large, not an XXL but a large. That's another lovely specimen. The leaves do come with a little bit of damage here and there, but in general this, you know, for the type of plant it is, you're going to expect to get a little bit of leaf damage here and there. But that's a large version of the melanochrysum, very, very beautiful plant. And then we've got the medium ones, which are these here. So this is a medium-sized melanochrysum. As I was mentioning earlier, they're called black gold. As they're maturing, they start to turn a dark green, but you can actually see, I don't know if you'll see it very clearly on the camera there, but you know, they've got almost a golden tinge to them before they start maturing to turn green. So they start off like a goldy brown color. But that's another one there. And then also I have one more here, and this one I would suggest would be in the large category as well, because it does have quite large leaves. It's actually growing a new leaf at the moment too, but that's got 3 lovely leaves on it. I do love melanochrysums. They're definitely one of my favorite plants. I think I was hoping to get 2 of the double XL sized ones, but my supplier actually only ended up sending me 1. He couldn't find another one. But in my next order, when it does turn up, hopefully I'll get another one of those, and I will actually be keeping that for myself. Okay, the next one is the Aglaonema tricolor. Now these I've purchased on every single order that I've had to ship plants from abroad, and every single time they've come, they've ended up turning up dead. They really don't ship very well for long periods of time, and luckily this time they've actually turned up all right. I mean, one of them's even got a little flower on the top here, but very sought after plant. Every time I've listed these, I've got so much interest in them, but unfortunately I've not been able to get them survive the journey to me. So every time they've turned up dead, or what has survived has survived with 1 or 2 leaves, and you know, that isn't really something I'm happy to sell to somebody looking for a plant. But these ones have actually turned up brilliant. They're looking lovely. I do love these plants. They've got like the army pattern on them. They look really nice. I've got 4 of them in here because I ran out of pots, but I'll get some pots in the next few days, and once I've got those pots I will actually repot these into individual pots. So that's my Aglaonema tricolors ×4. Next is the Queen Anthuriums, or the verrucosum. I think I said that right. Sorry if I butcher a few of the names today. I know I'm going to. There's one name that I'm dreading, and it's gonna become very apparent when I try and say it a bit further down the line. But yeah, we'll just stick with Queen Anthurium. So I've got a few Queen Anthuriums as well. Another very popular plant. These don't tend to stay with me for very long. Very beautiful plant. Another rarity to get hold of in the trade. Actually, at the moment, because of the time of year it is, they're getting notoriously difficult to find as well, because they don't fare very well in the cold. They sort of die back in their natural place of origin, and they are not very readily available, hence because of that. So this is another one here, another one of my Queen Anthuriums, and as you can see, they are absolutely stunning plants. I mean, just look at the leaves on that, they are beautiful. I'm just going to quickly flick through these because I think I've got maybe 4 or 5 of them. This is one from my previous order that I'd posted up recently. At the time I posted it, it was about finger length and not really any wider than my finger, but you can see that this has actually grown quite significantly since my last post. But this is actually sold as well. This is going to one of a lady who's been waiting for some time for my stock to arrive, and she actually picked this one out of all the Queen Anthuriums that I do have in stock. And if you're watching and you do see one that you want instead of the one you've chosen, you're more than welcome to let me know that you've changed your mind. This is another Queen Anthurium here, and this one seems to have a bit of a round form leaf on it, but it definitely is a Queen Anthurium, as you can see from this leaf here. But this leaf seems to have grown very wide for some reason. But yeah, amazing plants, absolutely amazing. I think I've got one more Queen Anthurium down here somewhere. Yep, there it is. And there's another one. They didn't turn up in the greatest condition as well, to be honest. Like this one here, it did have its full leaves on it, but as I mentioned, these don't like the cold at all, and by the time they'd arrived, and they were only in shipping for 4 days, their leaves had already started to become damaged, but they seem to be settling in quite nicely now. I mean, the leaves had gone a little bit pale looking, but they're definitely getting their colour back. So yeah, that is the final Queen Anthurium there. And the next plant on my list is the Anthurium veitchii, which is also known as the King Anthurium. So you've got the Queen and the King. And again, a lovely plant. I love the way that the ribs grow on this plant, and the leaves on both this and the Queen Anthurium actually get to humongous proportions. They are really, really majestic looking plants. So another beauty here. Make sure you get a nice close view of that on the camera. And this is producing lots of new growth as well. I can see about 3 new growth points at the back here where it's producing new leaves. What I'm going to do, move on to the last King Anthurium before I move on to the next plant. So there's a second one that I've got. Again, the rib pattern on the leaves is I think it's what makes these so interesting, other than the fact that the plant actually grows to such huge proportions. I mean, these leaves on these plants can get taller than a person, so quite a dramatic plant. After that, we've got the biliobae. Now I got 2 biliobaes in. One of them was a replacement for one of my customers whose stock didn't turn up in the best condition last time, so I promised a replacement for her. I think it got a bit of cold damage on the way there. So this is one of the 2 biliobaes I got. This is actually the replacement for the lady. If she's watching the video, this is actually your biliobae here. It's beautiful, a really stunning specimen, and it's actually producing a new leaf at the moment. I think what I'll do, I'll wait for this to unfurl fully before I stick this in the post, being that new leaves are quite tender and that the cold will damage them quite easy. And this is the second biliobae, which also is sold. This one actually sold today. Again, this is I'm winding a new leaf at the moment. I do have heat packs on the way to me, and as soon as those heat packs arrive, I will be packaging all of my sold plants up to be shipped out. So they're my two billieti's, and after the billieti's we've got the Atabapoenses, and this is one of the Atabapoense here. Both of the Atabapoense that have turned up are in large sizes. I did specify to the seller, the supplier rather, to make sure that, you know, these plants turn up in a decent size for me, because I do like offering these as mature plants because they're so much more striking when you get them at these sort of sizes. But yeah, that's one of my Atabapoenses there, and the other one is here at the front. Let me just pull this out, and this is actually sold as well. So this is for one of my one of the people that I met through Instagram, who actually has bought several plants off of me, or has reserved several plants off of me, and that is one of the plants that has been reserved. So that's the Atabapoenses, and next we're going to look at the variegated burle-marxii. I've actually got several of these, so you're going to have to bear with me. I think I've got about 7 of them. So this is one here. I'm actually going to, I think not in this order, but in future orders I'm going to keep some of these for myself. I'm actually going to stick some into my green wall because they're lovely plants to look at. I do love the variegation on them. You know, you get some really nice patterns on it, like this one here is sort of 50-50 variegated. So half of the leaf is this light green and the other half is mottled light and dark green. I'm just going to flick through these because they're all the same plant, just to show you the 7 that I do have. And here's another one, and some are bigger than the others. You know, they're not all the same sort of size. I've got some reasonably large ones and some reasonably small ones, and here's one of the small ones, but again equally a beautiful plant. I think with these really small ones, what I might do is I might stick 2 into a pot when I actually sell them, and sell the 2 small ones as one. And then you've got another one here. As I mentioned, it's quite a large plant haul, so you're just going to have to bear with me while I do work my way through it. This is the second small one. So the 2 of the small ones that you saw, I'll actually stick them into one pot and sell them as one individual plant rather than 2 small ones. And lastly, this is the last one of the 7. All producing new growth. I mean, you can see new growth spikes coming from the sides. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're all pretty much covered in new growth as well. So plenty will be happening with them over the near future. They seem to continue growing. I've got a couple in my tent that I've had from my last order that arrived damaged, so I didn't bother selling them, and they've taken off really nicely now, so they'll be added to that small collection as well when they actually get put up for sale. So they were the variegated burle-marxii. Next we're going to look at the wendlingeri, which seems to be becoming a very popular plant at the moment. The strap leaf plants, or the belt plants, they seem to be doing really well at the moment. I've had a lot of requests for these plants, and I've got one left in stock at the moment, but the other one is actually sold. So this one is the one that's left that is available. Beautiful plant. I mean, you don't get much in way of Anthuriums or Philodendrons that you can actually put in a hanging basket and you can hang, and it naturally wants to grow in that sort of fashion. So this for the people who are collecting Philodendrons and Anthuriums, this is, you know, something a bit different to add to your collection. And this is the second one. This one's actually sold. This is going to be posted out to the same person who bought the big melanochrysum. So these should be shipped out in the next few days. But again, as you can see, that is a stunning specimen. I mean, the leaves are just beautiful on these. they've got a really metallic look to them. I don't think you'll be able to see it properly on the video itself, but they really are really metallic looking. But yeah, that's the wendlingeri. I think I pronounced that correctly. Again, if I slaughter any of the names, I'm really sorry. After that, we've got now here we go. This is the one that I am gonna butcher, because it's just the strangest name to give a plant. So let's give it a go. It's the Epipremnoides. Epipremnoides, I think. Something like that anyway. But if you're wondering what I'm talking about, this is the plant here. Now these are absolutely stunning. This is the first time I've actually managed to get some in stock. I have been trying to get them for a little while, but these are beautiful. In fact, these have now become in my list of favorite plants, and I will actually get one that is bigger than this to add to my collection. I'm looking for one that's maybe about arm length, and once I get that, unfortunately for anyone looking for it, it will be staying with me. But yeah, this is the plant here. Absolutely stunning. It's like a Adansonii on steroids with its huge leaves. It's absolutely beautiful. Just look at that. I've got two of these. I haven't actually put these up yet, so they're both still available, and this is the second one. Beautiful plants, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, that's the Epipremnoides. Please forgive me if I butchered that. I'm pretty sure that I did. And after that, we've got the Anthurium regale or regale. So this is the first one. Again, I've had tons and tons of interest in this plant since I put the video up showing the plants that I had actually received. This shows quite forefront in the tent that I've got, and I had a lot of people asking me if this plant was available. Unfortunately, this was a pre-order for a customer. The same person who bought the larger tabapuense as well as a few other things. But yeah, this is a stunning example of a regale or a regal. Beautiful plant, quite sought after as well, as I mentioned. And I've got two of those. Unfortunately, both of them are sold as well, so sorry if any of you are looking for them. I will get more in my next order. I think I've learned a lesson from actually only getting two. I think next time around I'll try and get about 10 of them in, so there is plenty to go around. But yeah, that is the second regale. Not as big as the first one, but equally as beautiful. Another one that's due to go out to somebody waiting for it. So that's the regale or regal. Next is the forgetti. Now when this arrived, I was quite shocked at how beautiful these actually are. In the pictures it doesn't show them three-dimensionally enough. Now if you stick them in your hand, they're actually shaped like a cup. They've got a big recess on the inside, and they really are a stunning plant. The fact that it's got no split at the top of the leaf and it's just one in full leaf with the petiole coming out from the back here makes them quite different. I do like this plant, but again, this is actually sold as well. This is going to the person who purchased the large melanochrysum and the wendlingeri. So that's another one that's going out. But yeah, just show you that a bit close up so you can see a better picture of that. But that's the forgetti. Beautiful plant. We are getting there, slowly but surely. We are getting there. Next is the ace of spades. So again, this is a baby, very much a little bubba ace of spades, and unfortunately this is sold as well. I have had a lot of interest from people asking if there were any ace of spades left. I only got two, although I was due one. I did get two, but both of them are sold. So this is the smallest of the two that I got, but this is an ace of spades that is not crossed with anything, where my other ace of spades is a hybrid. I'm not quite sure, I can't remember off of my head what the hybrid was, but yeah, it's a hybrid. So that's the second one, ace of spades hybrid. Okay, that's my two ace of spades. Let me just pick my list back up here. Next is the Anthurium crystallinum magnificum, which is a hybrid. I was supposed to actually get 6 or 7 of these, and the supplier got confused and just sent me one, where I ordered 1 crystallinum. He sent me 7 crystallinums instead, so he got them the wrong way around. But this is actually sold as well. This is going to go to its new home in the next few days. But again, a beautiful plant. I did have some of these in my last order, which were significantly bigger, but they generally only turned up with 2 or 3 leaves, where even though this is juvenile, this has sort of got about 10 leaves on it. So it's got huge growth potential, and you know, this one's going to go out to its new home in the next few days. Now after that, we've got the white knights. Now the white knights that had turned up to me, I was absolutely stunned. They are just such beautiful specimens. I mean, this one here is pretty big. One of them's actually sold. This is the last one that's available, but yeah, one of the leaves on this is damaged, so minus this leaf, this plant here is absolutely perfect. I mean, you can see the variegation from the back of the leaves is quite strong. I mean, you've got this leaf here with the heavy white variegation in the leaf, and then you've got the mottled white variegation in here, and you've got some green and red variegation in this leaf. But it does have strong variegation gene in there, because as you can see from the stem here, it's got a white line across the entire length of the stem, so it will continue to produce more variegation as yet. So that's the first one, the one that's actually left, and this is the second one. This was actually sold today, and to be honest, this is so beautiful. I had contemplated actually keeping this for myself to add to my own collection, because I've been looking for white knights for quite some time, and I've really had problems getting hold of any decent specimens. And as soon as the supplier showed me these, I was like, yep, you know, you have to send those to me. I definitely want them. And you know, they are absolutely beautiful specimens. I'm not sure if you can see that in the video, but look at the white on there. That is absolutely stunning. Beautiful plant, absolutely beautiful. So that's the white knight. So next is the variegated syngonium. Now these are the elbow variegated syngonium, so the white variegated syngoniums. These again I've been trying to get hold of for quite some time now. Every time they've been shipped to me, because they spent so long stuck in customs while they were going through the paperwork and verifying that I'm a registered importer of tropical plants, they've just ended up deteriorating and dying, and pretty much by the time I got them there was no live leaves on them, and they were just pretty much stumps, and they didn't want to come back from the dead as such. So unfortunately I wasn't able to salvage any of these when they died in transit, but I did want to give it another try, and thankfully this time both of the ones that I ordered, they did turn up, and they seem to be in very, very good health. This is the second one here. So yeah, as you can see, they are really nice. I do like these. These are lovely. I see pictures of them on Instagram all the time, and they are very nice to look at. Very, very pretty plants. After the variegated syngonium, we've got the Florida Beauty. This is the one that turned up. We've got a new leaf growing in the middle, and then we've got the light neon green leaf, and then the more mature leaf with the variegation on it. Another beautiful plant. And I keep saying they're beautiful, but I literally do love all of the plants. You know, I definitely have a thing for rare tropical plants. Okay, so that was the Florida Beauty. I don't know if I showed you that properly. Let me just show you that again. So there's the variegated leaf, that's the newest leaf on there, and then you've got the new leaf growing from the middle there, so that's the Florida Beauty. After that we've got the Mycodes petolas, which are the jewel orchids. I've actually got 3 of them in this pot. One of them is actually sold, which is due to be shipped out. The other 2 are still available. So Mycodes petola, every time I've put these on the list they've sent me different jewel orchids, but I've not had anything to complain about, because the ones that have turned up prior to the ones I've actually ordered turning up were ones that I'd not seen before. I mean, generally you'll see a few different types of jewel orchids which, you know, are quite familiar to people who are familiar with a jewel orchid, but some of the ones that have turned up to me I'd seen them before, but not in the colour varieties that I'd received. So I will be putting those up for sale shortly, so do keep an eye out for those. But yep, that's the Mycodes petolas, or the jewel orchids. As I mentioned, there are 3 of those in that pot there. I just thought, because they're such small plants, I can fit them into one pot. Next is the Anthurium crystallinum. Now this particular one here is sold. Same person who bought the big melanochrysum has bought this crystallinum, but a beautiful specimen. I showed her all, I think it's 3 or 4 of them that I've got, and she was very adamant that this is the one that she wants, and I don't blame her. It is absolutely beautiful. And this is another one of them. A lot more growth on this one, but I do see why she did like the other one. The green on that seems to be a lot better. And I've got another 2 down here. Here's another one, new growth growing out the back. The second one I showed also has new growth growing, but yep, this is another one of the crystallinums, and another one here. Okay, and last but not least, I'm going to show you the variegated biliobae. It was earlier on the list, and I don't know how I managed to do it, but I actually skipped past it. But that's the variegated biliobae that turned up this time, and as you can see, it's got new growth growing out, and I can already see that this leaf is variegated as well. It's very light green in colour. I can see the blotches through the petiole. So yeah, more variegation on the way. This one I don't think is sold at the moment. Somebody has been asking me questions, but they haven't got back to me as to whether they want to take it or not. But yeah, so that was my plant haul for today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my video today. I'm just going to quickly pick the beauty of the show up again, just to put that on my lap. I know someone's actually dying to see it in the video, so here you go. I hope you've enjoyed the video today. I've really enjoyed making this. It's something a bit different. I've never done a plant haul before, and I thought, because I get such beautiful plants in stock, and you know, generally my channel is focused on the things that I have in my home rather than the things that I sell through my online sales. I thought I would show you some of the things that I actually do get in. You know, if there is anything within this collection that you want me to do a video on, please don't hesitate to leave it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to do a video on the aeroids, because my plan in the future is that all of my personal collection will actually be transferred over to an aeroid collection. So I'll be getting rid of a lot of the plants that I actually keep myself, just to mainly focus on keeping aeroids as a hobby keeper myself, as well as selling them. So I actually look forward to that quite a lot. So yeah, like I mentioned, if there's anything in this collection that you'd like me to make a care and maintenance video about, don't hesitate to contact me to ask me that, and I definitely will do that for you. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I know a lot of people have been waiting. I've been getting tons of messages through my Instagram saying, is your video ready yet? Have you uploaded it? When is it going to be done? For those of you who have been waiting, I really hope that it was everything you hoped it would be. I know I've waffled on throughout the whole video. I just wanted to make sure I got through 60 plants as quickly as I possibly could. If there's anything you'd like to see in a bit more detail, don't hesitate to contact me. If any of you are new to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you've enjoyed today's video, definitely don't forget to hit the thumbs up icon. Also, my cat's just bounding around in the living room. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also pop over to my Instagram account, which is also plants_and_paints, so plants and paints, where you can see my collection that I've been keeping over the past year to year and a half. I think maybe even going on 2 years now. I've been sort of keeping plants that you will be able to see through my Instagram posts, although I haven't been on Instagram for 2 years. I look forward to making more videos for you in the future, and for those of you who are waiting for my green wall update, I will be posting a video on that soon. Unfortunately, last week I was so ill I could barely even move. You know, I'm the kind of person that doesn't like taking time off of work, so I was taking myself to work and my work was literally kicking me out. They were saying, no, you can't stay here, you've got to go. So I ended up at home with a few days bed rest and a visit to the local GP. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video again. I look forward to making more content for you to enjoy in the future. My name's Zahir, this is Plants and Paints. I hope to see you again soon. Take care.